An accounting error.
Accounting error.
An accounting error.
Accounting error.
The accounting error.
Valuation error.
Accounting error.
An accounting error.
The Pentagon said on Tuesday that due to an accounting error, it overestimated the value of weaponry it has sent to Ukraine by about $6.2 billion over the past 2 years. Hello and welcome to the Accounting Analytics channel. You heard the news. Is it actually a normal accounting mistake or a sign for a much bigger and deeper problem? And that's what we'll try to find out. So let's begin. In a significant number of cases, services use replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from US stocks and provided to Ukraine. Let's start by defining some accounting concepts that appeared in the Pentagon statement, the net book value and the replacement cost. Assets of a company, except for financial assets like stocks or bonds, are recorded based on the historical cost principle, a basic accounting principle under US GAAP. Under this principle, assets are to be recorded at their historical cost, meaning the cost of acquiring or manufacturing the assets, even if they have significantly increased in value over time. Then assets should be depreciated over their useful life and recorded at their net book value, which is the historical cost minus depreciation. What the Pentagon said is that instead of using the historical cost principle to value the equipment sent to Ukraine, they used the replacement cost, or the cost of replacing an asset with a similar asset under fair market conditions. So, for example, let's say the equipment sent to Ukraine that costed the DoD $40 billion to acquire were valued by mistake at the replacement cost of $46.2 billion. The DoD then discovered this error and readjusted the amount back to the $40 billion figure, leaving back an additional $6.2 billion of aid to be sent to Ukraine.
For peaceful purposes.
What I mentioned so far is usually taught during the first 2 weeks of an introductory accounting course. The historical cost is mentioned on page 18 of an Accounting for Dummies book. So it's very unlikely an organization like the Pentagon can do a very basic bookkeeping. The problem is actually much bigger. Before we continue, if you want to increase your financial intelligence by 6.2 billion%, make sure to press this magical button. I will be creating finance and accounting videos that will awake the Warren Buffett inside you. Let's take a step back and look at the accounting practices at the DoD. The story shared by an accountant who worked for the Office of Defense Finance and Accounting Service named Linda Whitford gives us a glimpse on how bad the situation actually is. I will link the full article in the description below, but in short, the office is required to prepare monthly reports to reconcile the defense books to the treasuries, and each month, thousands of transactions are simply missing or false. Accountants try their best in searching for the missing or false numbers, but most of the time they can't find anything. Unable to balance the books, accountants are instructed by their seniors at the Defense Department to make unsubstantiated change actions. Please allow me to explain this deeply technical advanced accounting term and what it means. It says basically, use fake numbers so that the books balance. So, a Defense Department with a budget exceeding that of China, Russia, India, Saudi Arabia, UK, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, Ukraine combined doesn't actually know how much it has, how much it spends out, and how much is wasted or stolen. But you might be asking, shouldn't a department of this size be audited? Actually, in November 2022, the DoD failed its 5th consecutive audit, unable to account for 61% of its staggering $3.5 trillion in assets, meaning $2.1 trillion worth of assets can't be traced. Auditing the Department of Defense is not so easy. For one thing, it's the country's largest employer, with a total of 2.9 million people, more than 500,000 assets spread over 4,000 sites, thousands of aircrafts and battleships, and, to complicate things more, the defense has 300 different financial management systems, thousands of data warehouses, and over 10,000 data management systems. So basically, it's an impossible mission to audit the defense. Now back to our main question. At least 3 possible explanations are behind the 6.2 billion error. First, it might be a mistake, but this is very unlikely given the nature of the mistake and the fact that it spanned over 2 years unnoticed. The second and third explanations are equally likely, but given the lack of data or evidence, we are just guessing at the moment. It could be a fraud case that went wrong and got discovered, meaning someone was trying to pocket the $6.2 billion before getting busted, or it could be an accounting/political gimmick to find a way to send more arms to Ukraine, which makes it a fraud case too. As a previous external auditor for a Big Four firm, I can tell you that accounting is as much science as an art tool that you can use to paint whatever picture you want to convey. And I actually created a video on some creative accounting tricks management use to deceive and manipulate, and you can check it up here. Thank you for watching. If you have any other explanations behind this massive error, write it down in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates in the world of money and finance.